Welcome to the Interview Podcast, the voice of Inter-CT. All right, doing the rounds here and with Tom Robinson, our General Manager and Boys Pre-High School Director. Hi, Tom.
How are we doing, guys? Good to have a little bit of time off for the summer and now looking forward to getting back into the swing of it with the fall season only a month away.
We were saying, actually, it's been a while since we've done one of these. It was during COVID where we established the interview, which I think this is going to be called.
I think it works well.
Yeah, and we did certain interviews, but this one really, like we said, is going to be more for parents and players just to listen to stuff rather than look at a newsletter. I think newsletters serve a purpose, but people like to listen to stuff. But without further ado, what's going on at the moment camp-wise, Tom?
Yeah, we're. It feels weird to say, but halfway through our camps. So yeah, we've had a good mixture of a camp so far. We've had some of the elite group training ones. We've had some USL-based camps and our tournament-based camp. And this week we've just done a popular one as always. It's our Goalkeepers versus Attackers camp. So we're right in the middle of that one that started this morning, and basically what we do there is we split the groups into attackers and goalkeepers. They do their own little technique work to start with, and then we come back in the second half of the camp and kind of go head to head in that famous battle between goalkeepers and attackers.
Yeah, that's one I've got to tell you that the goalkeepers always come up trumps in the end, and all your outfield players end up a little bit upset. But no, that's just me as the goalkeeper. But no, that's good. And then next week we have a couple of camps as well, right?
Yeah, we've got two next week. So in partnership with our charity Football for All, we run a camp there for 15 hours of the week. It's only $150, and any money that we bring in from that camp goes to helping players get uniforms, cleats for the season, towards their tuition. So we would love to see as many players as possible come and join us for that one and get involved. It is more of a fun-based camp where we play more of the fun games that you would associate to the traditional soccer camp, style, which brought me to the US over 11 years ago, just kind of playing those fun games. And then those guys that are starting to think about getting ready for pre-season, even some of our high school guys, as their pre-season starts to kick off in August, we have our SPU boot camp for the size 5 soccer ball players. So basically 2011 and older, where they'll do an hour on the field technique, getting lots of reps in, and then they'll do an hour in the gym with Coach Andy to make sure they are in tip-top condition to get on the field when the pre-season is ready.
Yeah, lots of different options there. And I think a Football for All camp, with the price point being a little bit lower, is open to absolutely everyone.
Everybody.
One thing we have said with our camps, it tends to be different from most, where we have like specialists, don't we? We have the video analysis with the USL stuff, striker versus goalkeepers. All tends to be a little bit different, more specialized. But this camp,
this one's more your traditional style. All of our other ones, we tend to hit on special topics. Like the elite group camp tries to work on our core competencies a lot, and obviously this week with the attackers just working on the finishing and technique there. So it will be good to let the guys and girls let their hair down and have just a little bit of fun on camp, and focus in on just playing and making new connections and hopefully getting a few new faces into the club, and overall doing it for a good cause and helping people, not having soccer as a barrier from a financial point, and just trying to help as many people play as possible.
I'm quite jealous having people let their hair down. I'd love to let my hair down, but I know we're coming up to deadlines for uniforms, and just for those that aren't aware, 2 years ago, a long time ago, when we first started into Connecticut, we were very keen to have a bespoke uniform.
Very keen.
Those of you that don't know, myself and Marty have a goalkeeper glove brand, L1 Goalkeeper. Actually unique because they are in the Women's World Cup right now, the Philippines. We had a fantastic result, beating New Zealand 1-0.
Clean sheet.
I say we. I'm living my life precariously through my goalkeeper gloves. But to be at the World Cup there for, 4 years ago, we sponsored Jamaica, and Sydney did well. This year we've gone with the Philippines. and Olivia McDaniel's done a fantastic job. So I digressed with that only through a bit of blowing my own trumpet. What do you say? Tooting my own horn is the American phrase. But we had our goalkeeper glove brand create a bespoke uniform, didn't we? It looked good on paper. It looked good from afar, but the quality wasn't great.
Yeah.
In the end, we had some problems with consistency of sizing, and the fabric wasn't as good as some of the main brands. And one thing we learned there, it was great to begin with, but at the end of the day, we are a premier club, and we want to have the premier feel. And the uniforms worked out. What we ended up doing after, we went with Nike 2 years ago, and we have been told our uniforms in the past have been one of the nicest in the state, which is nice to hear. But upon signing that, it was a 4-year deal, and I don't know if parents know, the uniform basically is a 2-year cycle. We had the Vaporknit 3 last year, which was used for the Men's World Cup and the run up to that. That's all different now. There's a new style of that. So even if we did keep the same uniform, people wouldn't be able to buy it. So we do 2-year contracts, and it is our second
running
cycle, as it were. So people I know that have asked, how come we've got to do new uniforms? That's the reason why. Unfortunately, that is the cycle if you came in the spring of this year. I know with the little ones, we've tried to keep that at a minimum, haven't we?
Yeah,
so I'm going off on my soapbox here, but uniforms will be there. Those uniforms the orders don't come from us, do they?
No, yeah. So especially if you're part of the Norwalk branch, don't be looking for an email directly from myself or Leon. They come straight from Soccer and Rugby. With a link to a website called MyUniform, and then when you're in there, you can see the package. It is basically totally down to you guys what you order. The packages in there is a total recommendation for us to make sure that you are kind of kitted out for everything that you would need. You'll see that the practice uniform is still the same. That's rolled over. So if your practice uniform still fits from the season we've just finished, then you don't need that aspect. I've spoken to a few families who would like to have 2 or 3 practice uniforms to help minimise the laundry situation and make sure they have a few options in their soccer bag and whatnot there. And then we've got the 2 new uniforms coming in for the new season, the black home jersey and the white away jersey. Those families that were with us at the banquet or have been into SPU recently will see those jerseys on the wall in there, and they look really nice, and I'm looking forward to seeing the guys and girls out there on the field wearing them and representing the club.
I think the white one has been very popular.
Yes.
A few people have asked about the grey shorts.
Yes.
The reason we've gone grey as opposed to white is, just I think it's a sensitivity issue, and more importantly, we wanted our female players who didn't have white shorts before to have the same uniforms as the boys. Yeah. So the boys have gone grey, and grey is a perfect colour to fit with the trim, I think is the word for the white uniform. So it's a white and grey trim. So we've got the grey shorts, and the girls are going to have grey shorts as well, and that eliminates the girls from wearing white shorts, and it allows both boys and girls to have the same uniform.
And you'll also see the tracksuit options as well. As there, some families have asked me, do you need those? Obviously, right now when you're ordering them in July, you're not really thinking about the temperatures. But keep in mind, we will be practicing outside in the fall, where the temperatures will drop. We will be practicing outside during the winter, and the temperatures then are pretty cold. So if you do have that ability to get the tracksuit and the jumper and the pants, that'd be great, just to make sure you have everything and make sure that you're all kitted out for the weather that we will have throughout the year.
So I think that's uniforms. Get them before the start of the season. I think there is a 2 to 3 week turnaround, but Yeah.
Yeah, if you've not found an email from Soccer and Rugby, just drop me an email and I can send it out. The emails we sent to Soccer and Rugby was the primary email on your account, and I understand some families, that emails can change. So if you've not had anything now, just reach out to me and I can send that out to you the same day.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the Soccer and Rugby is for our Norwalk branches. Soccer.com is
Union.
Litchfield and Union. But Tom, why waste of time having you here talk about uniforms? Let's talk about pre-high school and what's in store for next year.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting off season, shall we call it? We've been working on this for a long time with our friends at the league, EDP. Our regional manager down there, John Tate, brought us over back 5 years ago. It was right when we was making the switch over to Inter from Everton, America, and the idea was to try and create a league in Connecticut that we can all be proud of, that were, if we had any problems, we can all talk as directors instead of having to go through team managers and facility members and all that. So we've actually joined 2 new leagues this coming fall, and the goal is to stay part of these leagues for as long as we can, and it's a very exciting one. So the first one I'd like to talk about is the Zone 1 Academy. That is open to our U9 through U12 boys and girls groups. Slightly different on either side on how we're gonna attack those groups, but basically what happened, we was identified and selected out of 3 clubs from kind of southern Connecticut, and then 3 clubs from more, heading towards the northern half, towards Hartford area. So it's, to be selected out of only 3 clubs being picked for it is really shows how far we've come as a club. To meet these standards, you've got to have your own facilities, you've got to have directors of coaching, you've got to have general managers, you've got to have real high-end players and kids that want to keep pushing themselves and not be happy kind of putting yourself in a lower league and turning over teams 5 and 6-0 because we're not getting anything from that. So we've done that on the younger side. We'll have more information from the league. They're going to release a statement regarding it, and when you look on the EDP website, you'll see that we'll always have 2 teams in the Zone 1 Academy. It'll be our regional team, so our newly called RL team, and then our state level team, our SL team, will be in the B bracket. So the way this league is being promoted, even if you're on our so-called B team into Connecticut, you're playing on a higher level than any of the other clubs that aren't part of this new league. So that's kind of U9 to U12, and then on our older age groups, U13 through to, I believe, U19, we've created a club v club format for just the Connecticut club. So what used to happen, because of where we're geographically placed, ourselves and a few other Connecticut clubs would travel to New York, which on a map or on paper doesn't look that far to get to Brooklyn, New York, or out to Long Island, but on a Saturday, it's taken some of our families the best part of 3 hours to get out there to play an hour's worth of soccer. So we've come together with some of our other friends in Connecticut who would go and play in the Massachusetts and Rhode Island, to now keep all of our kind of elite level teams playing just inside Connecticut. So it's going to minimize travel, but 2, it's also going to allow us to play against good teams inside Connecticut, and overall all the clubs inside Connecticut think it's only going to help improve the level of soccer here in Connecticut as well.
It's out of all that you took, what the proud thing for us really is that I think there's 46 Premier teams in the state of Connecticut, and to be picked of one of 6 is
brilliant.
It is great.
Yeah.
So lots to look forward to with the leagues there, and obviously more information to come when the league really announces that. But got to talk to you about USL. Went to Boston on Saturday. Our U20s, we'd won the league 2 weeks previously, and I think a news article went out on the website as well. We'd won the league, and this was a rebuilding year. Yeah. And just so you know, our USL under 20s is a collaboration between ourselves and AC Connecticut. We've been lauded across the nation, really, on how two rival clubs can come together for the benefit of the kids. And this year as well, where we used to be a feeder club with Hartford Athletic for the benefit of Connecticut soccer. I know Hartford wanted to go alone this year, and it meant a bit of rebuilding. But what it did also mean was more opportunities for AC kids and inter kids, as opposed to being pressured to take some kids, reserve players and that from Hartford. We kept it closer to home, rebranding. We went younger. But long story short, we've been a heck of a season with some very good teams, including Hartford, and won the league. Some very close games, a couple of 3-2s, 4-3s. But I thought it was all done, and then we found out that when we go to the Nationals in Tampa, it's a knockout, like FA Cup style,
right.
Whereas before it used to be 3 and 3.
Yeah, you get your games,
So we're playing like Charlotte, Independence. I think they've already qualified. Tampa's in there. Indy 11, New Mexico, those kind of San Antonio, those kind of teams. But it's going to be a knockout. But we found out that it's going to be based on seeding. So
you had to win that one to improve.
So there's us thinking that we could just take a
foot
team
off the gas.
But no, we had to. Anyway, long story short,
it's good.
The Inter boys did well. Max Weiss, who seems like he's played for us for forever, but he's there. He's off to Conn College, and he got the opening goal. We got another goal from Christian, 2-0 cruising. The other team scored with the last kick of the half. So
bad time to concede. It's a bad time.
And then it was really hot. I don't know. Can you remember Saturday?
Saturday was warm.
Oh
yes,
my gosh,
very.
Yeah. It was hard even on the sidelines. But 15 minutes in, they got another one, 2-2, and it was like kind of a war of attrition for we're settled with that. But we, two of our boys, Christian and Patrick Larson, who spent a bit of time with in Malawi, and we'll have to talk about Malawi another time, but. Christian went on first. He'd already scored against Blackwatch in the first game of the season. Patrick came on to make his debut as well. He's been very patient, been to training, helped out, been on the bench, got his time. Patrick actually won the free kick to get us the free kick. 4 minutes to go. It's gone high. The goalkeepers punched it out, and then Christian put the rebound.
There you go.
So, yes.
That's it.
If you're going to travel 3 hours for a game, it's nice to come away with
a good way to do it.
So that was, USL. We're getting ready to, thinking about Tampa now for the following years. But so that's excitement because we started that 3 years ago as well.
It's grown since.
And, you say it's grown. We've gone from just the odd training session to now we've got our teams playing full-time ECNL, right?
Yeah, so even before the ECNL stuff starts, we're actually on the younger age group, it's very difficult just to throw kids together, especially that U19 age group. So what we started to do is work on the PreAcademy side of that, and we actually have a group of players in 2 weeks' time going to the Hershey Cup in Pennsylvania. It'll be our second time attending the tournament after a very successful time last year. So, we still have stuff going on in the summer. And we've got our U10 group, our U12, U13, U14 groups during the summer. And then, like Leon was saying then, we've got a very exciting meeting coming up in mid-August with our friends at AC Connecticut. And then we going to be starting working towards this ECNL partnership league where we've done tournaments all the time. We've gone down to Tampa in March. We went to the Juventus Academy tournament around Thanksgiving, and our teams would do so well with only practicing a handful of times. So now we have the opportunity to offer league play for those players that are selected, but also weekly sessions, which is going to help the guys so much so we can actually work on patterns of play, what to do in certain roles, what to do in certain phases and functions of the game. So we are very excited for that aspect, and we can only see it helping the club more and the players more importantly, the more that we can get these guys together and get them working with our coaches and get them aiming towards doing well in these leagues, in these tournaments, and down in Tampa ultimately.
That's fantastic, and that's something we're really looking forward to. I'm conscious of time, Tom, because I know I've got another appointment, and it's always good to have these chats. And basically, we say we have these talks anyway with each other. We just need to record
them.
Yeah, but anything else your end?
The only thing for me just to touch on.
Oh yeah, we got Tom's dogs.
My dog's
telling me it's time to go.
My dog's in the background. The main thing for us is just considering the pre-season camp. You know, it's a great time to get players together with the coach. You know, some players are getting to meet their coach for the first time. You know, if you're the 2013s, you're getting to meet Coach Aaron, but you know, you're going to a new field size. So for us to get 15 hours worth of coaching on the field, it takes us over a month to achieve that. So the fact that we can get that into a week of practice would be great. So you can register for that pre-season camp on our website. We have done it so there's a morning session and an evening session to make sure you can work with your coach. A coach like Coach Anthony has 2 age groups. And instead of bringing those in together and potentially having 60, 70 kids together, we split them over 2 camps to allow, you know, time on the field with your coach. And hopefully off the back of it, I have a call this afternoon with Stephen Bell, the union, the Intercity union manager, to see if we can run our first ever Intercity FC Jamboree, where it will be all of our clubs coming together from the Union branch, from the Lichfield branch, and from the Norwalk, just to have a little pre-season friendly game, scrimmage, and, you know, then if something's going, you know, not the way we want in the game, we can actually stop, you know, the game, step in, where it's very difficult to do that when you're playing against another team, and we can use that then as a teaching moment. So we're looking forward to that. That should be the Saturday and Sunday after the pre-season camp. If you cannot do the pre-season camp, you can still attend the Jamboree. It is not just for players doing the pre-season camp, but obviously it does help if you've just done 15 hours on the field with us to then get those minutes under your belt and kind of put everything into action.
Brilliant. No, the pre-season camp is always a good one, and so you hit the ground running. And then Jamboree is something that we're excited about. The growth of the club now is such that we don't have to rely on other clubs.
Correct.
And if a game is a little bit one-sided, we can manage it a little
Correct.
bit for the benefit of the players as opposed to coaches' egos, as it were.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's great. I'm going to finish there, Tom, and thank you for your time, and hopefully it's something we can do on a more regular basis.
Yeah, 100%. Enjoy your summer, guys, and I look forward to seeing everyone soon.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with Gene Smith, the new girls pre-high school director. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Without being too much of an interview type person, just wanted to get you on this just to say hi to everyone. I know we've introduced you via the website, but actually to hear you in person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you want to know?
Well, let's start off with a little bit of history where, you know, we've had quite an intensive recruitment process with regards to a couple of staff, and you were our number 1 pick. I don't know if you know that, making you blush a little bit, but yeah, it was quite an intensive one, and just let people know about your background.
Yeah, I'm originally from Connecticut, so that's fantastic, and I'm super excited to be back in my home state. I grew up in Guilford, and from there I played collegiately at Xavier University for 2 years and signed a professional contract at the end of my sophomore year, and then obviously moved on from there. I found very quickly that I was not as good as I thought I was at the professional level, but I had a decent career, and then my somebody told me I should get a real job, so I moved into coaching, and I've coached at all levels. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3.
At college, right?
In the NCAA. And then I've had pretty vast club experience as well, not only as a player, but, you know, as a coach. I've been with clubs in, you know, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut. So I've definitely had some vast club experience. I coached USLW. I was a GM and a head coach for a club down in Georgia, and I had some USL2 experience on the men's side as well. And coupled with my college experience, I think yeah, I hope to provide some input here.
Yes, I know during the interview process, some of the insights that you gave from your other clubs really helped, and really looking forward to having you implement some of that. But regarding this week, what are you up to this week?
So we are doing a camp here at SPU, Sports Performance U, with it's girl specific. So I think that's fantastic, especially from where I'm at right now. Just meeting the girls, meeting the families, getting everybody in here. It's a really great environment. It's a small group camp where we can really kind of delve into player specific. So it's not 30, 40 kids in an environment where, you have to kind of balance it that way. We have, a small group, 7 to 10 kids, and I can really spend a lot of time individualizing it, which is great for them. So it's a half and half type thing. They do about an hour on the field with me, and we have programming that goes through the week, ranging from technical stuff to shooting to more group play things. And then the other half of it, they work on speed, agility, quickness, mobility, strength, with our sports science people. So it's fantastic.
And for those of you that know Andy here at Sports Performance U, he's involved in that part. And I know some of the girls are here on a yearly or seasonal basis with what we call the Learn to Train. But great opportunity for some of these girls to get involved in some more of the performance training, which, well, you've at the college level.
It's great to start it at as young as possible, has been my kind of experience with that. And obviously the younger groups, we don't work on, they're not coming in here and benching and squatting and doing all those things that normally people associate with that. It's more mobility, ACL preventions, especially on the women's side of the game. Mm-hmm. It's been very prevalent. So the more mobility, flexibility work that they can do with, body weight strength, things along those lines, that helps them in not only in the game, but preventing injuries and keeping them as almost like bulletproof athletes,
and get them in good habits.
Yeah, so good. Amazing habits to develop.
Right. So they're doing that, and right now, and really, I think it's something that the club has embraced. We did it. We had that kind of thing with the USL camp as well, and we do have next week the boot camp for players that play with a size 5 ball, but. Great introduction for you to see some of these girls as well.
It is, and it's great to get to meet them before the season begins. And I think that's really, really important to start to develop like those connections before the season begins and getting into it with them. So I'm happy to have that opportunity.
Now, talking about the next season, I know that you've written out an email, introduce yourself, but for those that will be so many emails, people that haven't received or they haven't been able to get that email, can you let us know the teams you're going to be taking and almost like hopes for the season, really?
Yeah, sure. I have the 2011s, the 2012s, and the 2013s. So I'm excited to be working with the younger age groups again. It's been it's a diversion for me, which is great, from the college game, and working with some of the higher level players at USLW and things along those lines. But I'm happy to be back in the younger side where I think I can really contribute and help them grow, and help them on their path to developing as players, and keeping them in the club, and watching their progression as they go through up until the the high school age groups.
Of course.
So being in the pre-high school side is fantastic. I'm so excited about it. My hopes for the season, we are branching out. We are moving forward here, and the Zone 1 Academy League is really going to be an interesting environment for us, I think, with all our girls teams, where it's the top teams in Connecticut playing off against each other. And the hope always is to compete, but it's not simply about winning, it's not simply about losing, it's making sure that we have the best competition, which equates to development for our players, and knowing that we are entering the highest levels. And I think that's fantastic to have that opportunity as well.
It shows tremendous growth for our girls program with regards to being invited to this, and it's something that we really haven't announced yet. I know it's coming out from the league, but to be selected as one of the top clubs in the state,
6 teams essentially,
where we're playing, and there's certain criteria that you need to be able to be in this league, and it's really going to put us against some good competition without having to travel
miles,
an hour and a half to back end of Long Island or whatever.
No, absolutely. No, it's great to just be in the state. And I think from my perspective, from a club perspective, this is what you really want. You get quality over quantity, because we all know, I mean, doing this long enough where we play in leagues where travel all over the place and not all the games are quality.
Yeah.
This has a level of quality to it that I think is really, really important. And, it limits the quantity of games. And I think that's important in terms of periodization. So we don't have athletes burning out. And I feel like they're going to feel like they get way more out of it, than having 65 games during a season and not having, not even, just burning out.
Yeah, and let's make no bones about it. We are going to be up against it, and one of the reasons now where we can utilize the branches as well.
Yes.
We took over Shelton this year. Obviously, we had Milford before, and we've got the other branch in Litchfield. Combined together, we have a good strength in depth now, where we can compete with everyone.
And I think that's important for all the branches too. I think that goes beyond just Norwalk. I think having all our players and all the branches competing at this level, I think will only strengthen our programs, and it will only gauge interest from other players. And I think it's you always want to be a place to go, right? I think our philosophy here is fantastic. I think what we do here is fantastic. I think the quality of our programs are fantastic. And now adding this little element gives us even more. And you want the experience to match what you're doing. And I think, all the philosophies, all our curriculum and how we develop our players, I think this piece, this element gives us something even more.
No, something to look forward to, definitely. So, Gene, thanks for your time today. Without making a rod for your own back, if people want to contact you, I know you've got your new email now. Can you let everyone know what that is?
Yeah, super simple. Gene, Gene, at interconnecticutfc.com. So really, really easy. And, if you send me an email, my phone number is on there. I won't waste your time plugging my phone number on this.
No, please.
But my phone number will be on there, so you can get in touch with me that way as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Gene. And we'll see you on the field.
Excellent.